It's time for Sick Picks. Brought to you by Betway.
All right, so TGIF, thank God it's football. I'm going to be focusing. A lot of my picks will be football-based, but I'll give you one right off the bat that I like. I know we talked to Scott Matla, and, you know, the Canadians are playing really well right now. I just don't see this continuing, especially against a big team like Vegas. They're 9-2 on the season. Heavy favorites, probably not as heavy as they should be. So that's the time to take advantage. 9-2 on the season. I'm going Vegas, and I do think this is one of those games where the Canadians, it's going to happen this season, so get used to it. They're going to get smacked by the big boys. So I'm going to take Vegas and over 6.5 goals there. That pays just under 3-1 at 2.95. And now for the NFL Sunday. Full disclosure, I have won my picks the past 2 weeks in a row. Made some money. It's really nice. And now that nobody asked me for my picks, but now that I'm winning, Sammy and Agnello asked me for my picks. And, you know, I'm going to be made to look like an idiot when these eventually and inevitably don't hit. So 2 things that really piqued my interest were the Minnesota Vikings on the road as 3.5-point underdogs to the Washington Commanders. I really don't understand this. Minnesota is 6-1. I understand that they're not dominating teams like other teams of that caliber are doing, notably the Eagles, who are blowing teams out left and right, the Bills, who are blowing teams out left and right. Minnesota keeps it tight because, frankly, they're not the most talented group out there, but they are what their record says they are. They're 6-1. Washington is a bad football team. Give me Minnesota minus 3.5. Parlay that with Seattle plus 2.5 on the road in Arizona. Seattle has been getting no love this year from anybody. And only now people are starting to sniff around. Oh, the Seahawks may be for real. You know what? I don't think they're going to win that division, frankly, because I think that the 49ers just have an unbelievable roster. And, you know, with the bye week this week, they're going to put it all together and they're probably going to take the division. But Arizona is another divisional team and they stink. I have no faith in Kyler Murray. I have no faith in Cliff Kingsbury. And I just have no faith in anyone else on that offense until Hollywood Brown comes back and then they are at full strength. Give me Seattle, parlayed with Minnesota. Seattle are 2.5-point underdogs. I would even take the money line on Seattle. That's what I'm doing. And just a little note for you. I'm going to give you 2 more things. One of them is a pick, and one of them is kind of a rule of thumb. I don't know if you guys saw this, but this past week, a video surfaced. I forget on which Instagram account. It was one of the betting ones. It might have been Bleacher Report betting. Anyways, it doesn't matter. There's a new rule, or not a new rule, but there's someone studied trends over NFL teams that are double-digit favorites over other teams. 65% of the time, when a team is a double-digit favorite, that game will go under. It's probably a bad time to bring up that rule, considering that the Eagles and Houston Texans went over yesterday. But general rule of thumb is when one team is build to blow out another team, they're going to take their foot off the gas at one point. So just bear that in mind. If you're looking at the Chiefs versus the Titans, and where the Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites on Betway, and bear that in mind when you're looking at Bills versus Jets, where the Bills are 12-point favorites. So just keep that in mind. And hey, one more football game for you. We talked CFL, we talked NFL. Why not talk college as well? Just really quickly, shout out to Jer Held and Charles Moati, who will be going to the college game of the year. These are 2 of my buddies. Going to the college game of the year. Georgia, number 3 in the country, playing host to number 1 Tennessee. You're not going to see this very often, where a number 3 team is a favorite, a pretty heavy favorite over a number 1 team. But hey, this is based off of no statistical analysis. But if you want to ride with me, and I'm hoping my friends have a good time down there, I hope Georgia will cover that spread. But that will also, it's a big spread, but it's not a double-digit spread. It's going over.